I didn't finish it, but you knew what I meant. So the question is, okay, God, you can change my future. Fine. If I give my life to Jesus, then you'll change my intention, and then everything will change. But what about my past? See, I remember when I was a bit younger, I asked myself this question all the time. I was like, okay, that's cool. Like, the Jesus thing is really cool. God is really awesome. But, like, nothing changes prior to this moment. I did what I did. I experienced what I experienced. There is no hope for my past. And then I realized that Jesus is not bound by time. He's not bound by time and space. You see, when we realize that Jesus isn't just a temporal being, but when we accept that he lives outside of our very existence, then the possibility of Jesus changing our life isn't just momentarily, but it's all our life. And all our life includes your past, your present, and your future. When you invite God into your life, he not only steps into your future, not only does he give you a present, but he also steps into your past and he rewrites your story. So all your life changes, not just this moment. All of a sudden your mistakes are forgiven. All of a sudden the ones you will do and the ones that you have. And what he does is that he gives you entry. When the scriptures say that he is the gate, what a weird description, unless we know that Jesus is not just someone that we give life or we're given life by, but also that we walk through. When Jesus opens up the possibility to live the fullest, he actually opens up the opportunity for us to look at our past and step in it and forgive the people who have hurt us in our past. So, by the way, that's what we say, God has changed my life. Have you ever heard anybody say, like, God has changed my life? And people are like, it's cool, dude, you look exactly the same. There's nothing new about you. See, when we say, God has changed my life, what we're actually declaring and making public is, you don't understand. God hasn't just changed this moment. The reason why I have so much light, the reason why I'm so in love with the world and seeing people and there's something different about me is not because I'm just hoping for a better future. It's because God has forgiven and given me a new past. That's why we say, my whole life has changed. See, there's nothing more interesting to me than time and space. If you've known me for more than 5 minutes, you know that I'm obsessed. It's an obsession with the construct of time. Time is this interesting thing because time is a thing. Time is this object of our perception of what reality is, and we distinguish what time looks like and what time is based on the rhythm of our solar system. And based on what coordinates and based on what location you are on Earth. And the rotation of the sun and the rotation of the moon, that's time for you. But you know what I found so fascinating is that I went to Europe. I'm fancy. And I was in London. And it was so strange to me. I was texting all my pals back in America, like, suckers, I'm in London. And I was texting them back, and they were here in the States. And I was just like, hey, something stupid like, dude, London's lit. Young people, dumb. Okay. And the weirdest thing happened. They received the message at the same time. But here's where the confusion was. Pardon my interruption right here, my sidetrack. Here's where I was confused. I was confused because I'm 6 hours ahead of them, and they're 6 hours behind. But when I communicated this message to them, they received it at the same time. And we were having the same conversation at the same time, 6 hours apart. Seemingly, I was aging faster. No, Jesus. I was aging faster by 6 hours, and they were 6 hours behind. But we were having this conversation with each other. And much like that is God. God is outside of our time. And what God communicates, he's not communicating from your past. He's not communicating from your present. He's not even communicating from your future. He's communicating outside of existence. And so when he says, I've forgiven you, he's not speaking to your very moment. You see, we think God is really slow, but really he's really fast. We are slow because the words that God speaks didn't start yesterday or 2,000 years ago. They started 1,000 million trillion infinity ago. So when God touches your heart, it's actually something that he's communicating to you from outside of time and space. All of a sudden, your understanding of the past, your understanding of the present, your understanding of the future to God is but a moment. So when God communicates to you a message that I have died for you and I'm here to give you life, he's speaking from the eternal, and he's changing our perception of what eternity and time is. Some of you are so afraid to revisit your past because you think you cannot change it, and you can't, but only God can, and he will, because God would step from outside of time and space, and he would slow down. If light speed is the fastest source of energy and of light, and that's the fastest thing in the universe, then God would slow down in time, and he would become temporal just to communicate this message to you. I came to give you life, and I gave it to you so that you can live it in your fullest. Come on. And by the way, there's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing you can do about what God would choose to do for you. Even if you do not believe in God, I want you to know that God believes in you, and that he has entrusted you with the option to either choose life or death. And the choice is ultimately yours. You know, I've known so many people that are like, I can't wait to go to heaven. I'm like, I love heaven too, but like, I'm still young. I still got kids, you know. Like, typically older churches are like talking about heaven all the time. I'm like, I just got here. You see, so many times people are like, I can't wait to spend eternity. And I'm like, there's a misconception here. You are an eternal being, whether you're with God or not. See, our benefit isn't eternity. Our benefit is an eternal life. Is an eternity with the source of life. Yeah? So whether you believe in God or not this morning, whether it's been difficult for you, I want you to listen to one last thing. Your past has been forgiven, if you so choose. A friend of mine asked me the other day, Juan, that's really cool. Talking about time again, great. And then he goes, how can I give God my future? And I said, you give God your future by giving him your present. Some of you don't know what tomorrow is going to bring. But I know that when you understand that the God of the universe would step from eternity to meet you here, it was to tell you that you can trust him, because the future he has for you is just full of life.